Postman Pat's Christmas Tree by John Cunliffe. It was cold and snowy in Greendale. Christmas was coming. Pat had more and more letters and parcels to deliver each day. All the people of Greendale were busy getting ready for Christmas. When Pat called at Greendale Farm, Mrs. Pottage was making mince pies.
"Have some mince pies," said Mrs. Pottage.
"Just one, please," said Pat. "I don't want to get fat." At the school, the children were making streamers and calendars. "Where is Lucy?" said Pat. "Poor little Lucy," said Mr. Pringle. "She slipped on the ice and broke her leg last night. She's in Pencaster Hospital." "Oh dear," said Pat. "That's unlucky at Christmas. She'll be missing some of the fun. I'll pop over and see her when I finish my round, see if I can cheer her up." The children gave Pat a big card and a present to take for Lucy. Lucy was delighted to see Pat. He told her all the Greendale news and made her laugh with his jokes. Then he went round the ward to have a chat with the other children. "Dear me," said Pat to the nurse, "they haven't got many books and toys, have they? It must get a bit dull for them."
"We just haven't got the money for books and toys," said the nurse. "I wish we had."
"We'll have to see what we can do," said Pat. All the way home, Pat was thinking of ways to raise money for the children at the hospital. And as he went on his round the next day, he asked the people of Greendale. "We could have a special collection in the church," said the Reverend Timms.
"I'll make some cakes for the Christmas bazaar," said Dorothy Thompson. "We could have a raffle," said Miss Hubbard. "I'll give 3 bottles of my best rhubarb wine."
Everyone wanted to help. On Wednesday, the wind got up, and that helped more than anything else, as you will see. It blew a big fir tree into the road not far from Greendale Farm. Pat couldn't get past with his van, so he went to Peter Fogg with his tractor and power saw. Peter was just going to cut the tree up and drag the pieces away when Pat had an idea. "Hang on, Peter," said Pat. "Do you think we could move that tree all in one piece?"
"We could with the big tractor," said Peter, "but it'll be a lot easier to cut it up."
"No, don't do that," said Pat. "That tree's given me an idea. It's a Christmas tree. We could put it up on the village green and get Ted to rig some lights up. Then we could have a special carol concert and a Christmas fair in the village hall. Lots of people would come from the towns to see it, and we'd raise plenty of money for the hospital." They had a real old time moving that tree to the village green. It took 2 tractors and a trailer in the end. A lot of people came to help, and P.C. Selby diverted the traffic. Colonel Forbes brought a huge tub to put the tree in. Ted borrowed a JCB to lift the tree into place. The tree looked lovely, but there was still a lot to do. The children at the school made decorations to go on the tree, and posters to advertise the Carole concert and Greendale Christmas Fair. Ted began fixing up the lights. Then he said,
"Why don't we have lights on the church, and the post office and the village hall as well?"
And he went off to Pencaster to borrow more lights. "It's going to be better than Blackpool illuminations," said Pat.
"We mustn't get carried away," said Miss Hubbard.
Everyone began making extra cakes and mince pies and Christmas puddings to sell at the Christmas fair. Granny Dryden's knitting needles were going at top speed, making tea cosies and dishcloths. Miss Hubbard made a special flower display in the church. It was lovely. There had never been such a busy Christmas in Greendale. Ted arranged special bus trips to Greendale from Pencaster and Carlisle. The Pencaster Gazette had a big article on the front page with a picture of Ted putting the lights up. Then they put in free advertisements for 3 weeks. There was even an article in a colour magazine on Sunday with a whole series of photographs headed "Greendale prepares for a special Christmas."
"We'll have to have a celebrity to switch the lights on," said Mrs. Goggins. "We have our own celebrity," said Mrs. Pottage. "Everyone knows Pat. He'll have to do it. It was all his idea, after all."
Everyone agreed with that. The big day was a week before Christmas. Lancaster Silver Band came to play for the carols, the Mayor of Pencaster came to help switch the lights on, and crowds of people came. There was even a special train from London. Miss Hubbard had to make several extra trips with the Greendale bus to collect everyone. Radio Pencaster came with their radio car to report live from the scene. All was ready. The Mayor made a speech.
"Keep it short," whispered Ted. "It's too cold to hang about."
The moment came to switch the lights on. Pat stepped forward and pressed the big switch. There was a loud bang, and a splutter, a flash and a cloud of smoke. The lights flashed on for a moment, then went out. The crowd said, then,
"Oh!"
It was a good thing Ted had his toolkit handy.
"It's blown a fuse," he said. "Don't worry, I'll soon fettle it."
And he did. The lights came on, the band played, the choir sang. The crowds joined in. They filled the church for the service. They filled the village hall for the Christmas fair. They filled the collecting boxes for the hospital. It was wonderful, a Christmas to remember for years and years afterwards. When all the money was collected and counted, there was more than enough to fill the children's ward with books and toys. The rest was given to the hospital funds. After that, children had a much nicer time in hospital, thanks to the tree that blew down, and Pat's bright idea, and all the people of Greendale who joined in to help.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in